Hey, what's up you guys? It's Jessie and I just wanted to make a quick video. Well, actually it's probably not going to be a quick video. It's probably going to be the longest, most rambly video I've ever made. So don't say I didn't warn you. This video is for a specific someone, so if you are not that specific someone, you are more than welcome to keep watching, but just be aware that I'm talking to that person. Well, not just I'm telling a story about that. It makes sense if you watch it. So basically a couple years back, I got a job at a dance studio, and they wanted me to do their summer camp and kind of expand their dancers' knowledge on musical theater. So I really was excited about that opportunity. I was really, really happy. And so I actually knew the guy who was working there before me at the summer camp. And so I called him on the phone and I was like, so you want to tell me a little bit about the kids, so I know kind of if they have ever sang before? Are they going to be terrified to sing? Is it going to be, I don't want to do that? Or is it going to be, ooh, a new exciting thing? Like, what were the personalities of the kids I was going to get? I specifically remember him telling me about the little girl who was the daughter of the owners of the dance studio. And she was, I think, 7 at the time. He told me that she was very, very shy, very, very quiet, and that the most he had ever managed to get her to do was play like a dog or an animal where she just sort of crawls around quietly and doesn't speak. So, I was fine with the fact that she was shy. I never, ever would push a kid to do something that they didn't want to do. I'm not gonna grab a really shy kid and be like, sing by yourself in front of an audience of people and have them be like, oh God, theater is terrifying. Because, that's not what I want to do. I want kids to see that performing is fun, not, oh God, stress. So, I wasn't going to make her do anything she didn't want to do. She could be in the group stuff. She could be, I knew she was going to be a good dancer because her parents owned a dance studio. And she was a very good dancer. I did kind of little interviews with the kids because I didn't want to call them auditions because I didn't really have them prepare anything and sing for me. I was like, oh, are you willing to sing for me? And if they were like, yes, they would sing a Walt Disney song for me or something. If they said no, that was fine too. And, I'd ask them some questions like, what kind of dance are you, what styles of dance are you good at? And, and with Jaden, I really just got, didn't hear anything, which is fine. I was prepared for it, that's whatever she's comfortable with. And the show went well. It went really great. I met a lot of fantastic people, a lot of really talented kids. And so then session 2 of camp comes along, and we did some stuff from The Lion King. And I said, who would like to audition for young Simba? And Jaden's hand went in the air. And I said to her, I was like, you have to sing by yourself if you're Simba. And she's like, yeah, I know. And I was like, all right. Her and 2 other little girls auditioned for young Simba. I didn't end up giving her young Simba. I ended up giving her Zazu because I had all 3 take turns as Simba, Zazu, and Nala. And she was really good as Zazu, so I was like, okay, you're Zazu. And she really enjoyed being Zazu. She got to have a little solo dance part, Circle of Life. She got to be in Just Can't Wait to Be King. The camp was so positive and so great that we decided to try a little acting class during the year, a little workshop. And Jaden was a part of it. And basically what I did was I kind of gave them all, tips on how to audition for a real show. So I picked an up-tempo song and a ballad song for each of them. I taught them how to count out 16 bars. I taught them, how to put together an audition binder. So Jaden, I gave a monologue from Alice in Wonderland. I gave her Whistle a Happy Tune from The King and I for her up-tempo, and I gave her Castle on a Cloud for her ballad from Les Mis. And I remember she really kind of sang for me for the first time in that class. Because Zazu, it's kind of like talk singing, so you can't really hear how a person sings on that. And when I remember sitting there and listening to her sing Castle on a Cloud and going, she has an amazing voice. She has perfect pitch, and she's a really good singer. The next summer, we did Annie, because every little kid has to do Annie at some point in their childhood. And she got Tessie, and she was amazing as Tessie. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And so then the next session of camp came along, and I told all the kids that were an Annie, I said, you know, if you don't want to sing for me today at the auditions, that's fine. I've heard your voice every day for 4 weeks. I know what you sing like. But if you're comfortable with it and you weren't a nanny, I would like to hear you sing something. And some of them did, some of them didn't. And Jaden walks in and she says to me, Miss Jessie, I know that you said that if we were an Annie that we don't have to sing for you today, but I've been working on my singing all week that we had off from camp, and I think I've gotten better. So I'd really like to sing something for you. And I was like, go for it. Sing for me. I love it. And she's, under parts that she wanted, we did Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, and Peter Pan. And she wanted to be Alice, Peter, and the Cowardly Lion. And she got every part she wanted because she was so good. And I was so proud of her. And I remember there was a rehearsal where we were on a break and we were all just talking, and somehow the topic of like my childhood movies came up, like movies I watched as a kid. And I think the first one that came up was the Aristocats. And everybody's like, I don't know what that is. And I'm like, how can you not know what that is? That movie's so good. And they're like, I've never seen it. What's it about? And so I was talking to them about that movie. Jaden's not that big on Disney princesses or anything like that, so I don't think she was that interested in that conversation, because I think she assumed, since we were talking about Disney, it had something to do with princesses, and she's not a Disney princess fan, which hurts my heart a little bit. And so then I was thinking maybe I should mention some other movies that aren't Disney that might interest Jaden a little bit more. And I was like, well, have you guys ever seen Matilda? And they're like, no. And I'm like, no, that movie defined my childhood. How could you have not seen Matilda? And they're like, what's it about? And so I told them the basic plot without giving away too much. And Jaden goes, that sounds really cool. And I'm like, yeah, it is really cool. And I said, it just went to Broadway. You want to see a clip from the Tony Awards? And she was like, yeah. And so I showed all the kids a clip from the Tony Awards of Matilda on my iPhone. And they're all like sitting there like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Or really, they're like, I can't see because this one's head is in front of my head. But yeah. And Jaden, like, her eyes were glued to that phone the whole time I was showing that video. We go back to rehearsal. Show went great. Everybody loved it. And during the year, I get a text from Jaden's mother, and she's like, Jaden won't stop singing Matilda. I don't know how she even found out about Matilda the musical, but it's all we hear all day. And I'm like, hello, I'm the one who introduced your daughter to Matilda, and now that's all you get to hear for the rest of your life. My bad. I'm already planning for next summer, and so I'm like, what would be a good show to do this year? I put together a musical review of all shows that are, you know, have kids in them. So Sound of Music, Gypsy, Matilda. Soon as Jaden found out, she was like, I need to be Matilda. I need to be Matilda. And so I was like, you know, you audition. We'll see what happens. And so first day of camp, Jaden comes in a complete Broadway Matilda costume and says, I'm going to sing a mashup of Naughty and Quiet from Matilda the Musical for my audition. And I'm like, and she stood there and she sang the songs and they were fantastic. And so I was like, okay, well, found my Matilda. Done. I remember I don't really post a cast list. What I kind of do is I give them little pieces of paper that have all their parts on them, and I give them a lollipop. And so she opened her little envelope and looked at her little piece of paper and saw the word Matilda. And she was, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a kid that excited about something. She did the part, she did the show, and she was fantastic. She was unbelievable. It didn't surprise me. I knew she was going to be great. So then we started our next show. At the audition for the second session of camp, she did Naughty again, and she had memorized all of the Broadway choreography. And I was like, you just get better and better every time I see you, don't you? And she kind of smiled. And I was like, now when you play this part on Broadway, you better let me come backstage hang out with you, all right? And she's like, yeah, okay. We're in rehearsal for that. And so her dad tells me that he wants to videotape her doing Naughty and send it in to a New York agent. So I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And so I put together a resume for her, and we had done I Hope I Get It from a chorus line. So we had a headshot for her to hold in front of her face, so we used that headshot. They have everything together, and they mail it in. And then during this year, I get a text message that the agent really, really liked her video, and she's been requested to come audition for Matilda the musical on Broadway in person on her birthday. And would you help her prepare for her audition? And I said, absolutely 100% yes. I would love to. It's just amazing to me to think that this little girl, I met her when she was 7 years old. She wouldn't speak to me. She would sing by herself. And now she's about to turn 10, and on her 10th birthday, she's going to be on a plane flying to New York to audition for her ultimate dream role on Broadway that she was requested to come out for. And oh my God, that's just... And I'm in no way taking any credit for her talent, because that is completely 100% natural talent. But if I had any part in helping her build any confidence, that just makes me feel so good about myself. That's why I love working with kids in theater. So this video is for you, Jaden. And I just want to tell you that if you go there and you do your best, which I know you will, and you don't get the part, you need to just remember that the fact that they called you to come out and audition for this show, that is like an enormous accomplishment. Be proud of that. And if you do get the part, I will be there. I will be there to cheer you on. I will be there sitting in the audience, ridiculously proud of you. I'm gonna give you a little present. You probably already have it by the time I upload this video, but I just wanted to show on the camera. So I know that you needed an audition binder. You had a binder that you were kind of using, you know, for the audition stuff that I gave you for that workshop that we did. And it kind of went back and forth between being an audition binder and being the binder you put the scripts in when we did our camp shows. So for your birthday, I put together an audition binder for you that can just be your audition binder. It'll be nothing but an audition binder forever and a day. When you're 80, this will still be your audition binder. Nothing else will ever go in this binder. Make sure of it. I made your little cover. It says your name and that it's your audition book. Got some pictures of you from when we did Matilda at camp, from when we did Peter Pan, Gypsy, Wizard of Oz, Tessie and Annie, Alice in Wonderland, all kinds of pictures from our shows, and some pictures of you dancing, because you're really good at dancing, and I had to include that. And just because I know that you liked that we did the Matilda ribbon in our Matilda, your binder has a Matilda ribbon. So when you audition, even if you don't wear your ribbon, you have a Matilda ribbon there for luck. You know, I filled it with, you know, resume. We'll put them here, you know, when we actually put your book together at our next little rehearsal. Blank pages for your sheet music that you already have, so I couldn't put them in there for you because they're with you so that you practice your audition stuff. And yeah, so happy birthday. Have an audition binder for Matilda that you're going to on your birthday. Oh my God, I can't even. And you know, just remember that if you do get cast as Matilda or in Matilda, and you are in New York and you ever need anything, and I know that you have amazing parents, and I know you have an amazing older brother that you could go to if you needed anything, but if you ever need anything and you want to talk to me, or you need me, don't think to yourself, well, she's all in Florida, I don't want to bother her. You're never bothering me. Feel free, text me, call me, whatever you need to do. I am there for you. I will freaking fly out to New York if you need me there. I'm totally here for you if you need me. I will always be. I know that if you get into Matilda, you'll have a different Miss Honey, but I will always be the Miss Honey to your Matilda, and I will always be there for you if you need me. I seem to recall that I made a certain promise that if a certain someone got an audition for Matilda on Broadway, that I would sing a certain song from Matilda for them. So this is for you. Break a leg at your audition. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. So they say the subsequent fall was inevitable. They never stood a chance, they were written that way. Innocent victims of their story. Like Romeo and Juliet, 'twas written in the stars before they even met. That love and fate and a touch of stupidity would rob them of the hope of living happily. The endings were often a little bit gory. I wonder why they didn't just change their story. We're told we have to do what we're told, but surely sometimes you have to be a little bit naughty. Just because you find that life's not fair, it doesn't mean that you just have to grin and bear it. If you always take it on the chin and wear it, nothing will change. Even if you're little, you can do a lot. You mustn't let a little thing like little stop you. If you sit around and let them get on top, you might as well be saying you think that it's okay, and that's not right. Cinderella in the cellar didn't have to do much as far as I could tell. Her godmother was 2/3 fairy. Suddenly her lot was a lot less scary. But what if you haven't got a fairy to fix it? Sometimes you have to make a little bit of mischief. Just because you find that life's not fair, it doesn't mean that you just have to grin and bear it. If you always take it on the chin and wear it, nothing will change. Even if you're little, you can do a lot. You mustn't let a little thing like little stop you. If you sit around and let them get on top, you might as well be saying you think that it's okay, and that's not right. And if it's not right, you have to put it right. In the slip of a boat, there's a tiny red boat. The seed of a war in the creak of a floorboard. A storm can begin with the flap of a wing. The tiniest mite packs the mightiest sting. Every day starts with the tick of a clock. All escapes start with the click of a look. If you're stuck in your story and want to get out, you don't have to cry and you don't have to shout. 'Cause if you're little, you can do a lot. You mustn't let a little thing like little stop you. If you sit around and let them get on top, you won't change a thing. Just because you find that life's not fair, it doesn't mean that you just have to grin and bear it. If you always take it on the chin and wear it, you might as well be saying you think that it's okay, and that's not right. And if it's not right, you have to put it right. But nobody else is gonna put it right for me. Nobody but me is gonna change my story. Sometimes you have to be a little bit naughty. You go and you rock that audition like I know you can. And you better believe that when you're Matilda or in Matilda or in another Broadway show, because I know you're going to get there someday, I will be there cheering you on and ready to do whatever you need me to do to support you, because I'm always here for you. You go and you show those awesome New York people how awesome you are, even if you have to be a little bit naughty to do it. Bye.
So I could get all of you.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Don't show me, Daisy.